every time my wife's like, if you could move anywhere else, where would it be? I'm like, well, Bill Makes Dripping Springs in Austin seems so great that I'd probably move there because it's all I hear about. So it's about time that you started doing this, man. You're so authentic, not just in like the overview of the town, you're authentic in the support of the local businesses. I want people to know that this isn't just some random idea from you. This is something I literally hear from you when we talk on a weekly basis for the last at least year and a half.
Welcome to episode 1 of the Sold on Drip podcast. I'm your host, Bill Caffaretta, and we're going to kick this off with my close friend, Ian Lobas. He's a podcaster in his own right, hosts the Irreplaceable Man podcast, which is actually a top 1% podcast. It's phenomenal. And he's here because he is the one that pushed me to finally hit the record button, step out and record this podcast. I've talked about it now for a couple of years, haven't jumped in and done it, but we're here and I'm psyched and can't wait to make this a weekly treat for you guys. This first episode, we're going to talk about what you can expect from this podcast, what makes Dripping Springs so special, and it's just going to be step 1 in a long journey, and we hope to see you guys here weekly. We want you to see what this great town is about, and we hope you enjoy the show. All right, Ian, here we are. We're finally doing this.
Dude, every week for the last 2 years, I've talked to you. I have moved from Baltimore to Los Angeles in that time, and every time my wife's like, if you could move anywhere else, where would it be? I'm like, well, Bill Makes Dripping Springs in Austin seems so great that I'd probably move there because it's all I hear about. So it's about time that you started doing this, man.
I know, man, it is. I've been wanting to do this. We've talked through. I love where I live. Dripping Springs is phenomenal. Austin, I mean, there's a million things to do here, and there's something for everybody, and we've really loved it. We've been building our family here, and we've just had an amazing support system and just can't talk well enough about it. So thanks for pushing me and finally getting me on the air to highlight this town and bring it to life for everybody else, man.
Yeah, look, I'm an experienced podcaster. I get it. It's scary to just start. And what I like, and the reason why I wanted to join you on the first one is because you're so authentic, not just in like the overview of the town. You're authentic in the support of the local businesses. And that's why when you said, all right, I think I'm ready to do this, and I volunteered myself to come on here and say, I want to do it with you because I want people to know that this isn't just some random idea from you. This is something I literally hear from you when we talk on a weekly basis for the last at least year and a half. And this has been a long time coming. And I think your perspective helps a lot of people both in the community, because we all are a part of a community where, man, I didn't know that was there, or I didn't know that those people did that, or that business helped that way, or that, this street has this on Saturdays once a month. And that's what you're here to do, is basically weave together the little things that you really like about Dripping Springs.
We want to be a hub for the community, and being here, there's so much to do, whether you're an adult, a kid, you're in school, you're playing sports, you're here for the wine country, you're here for a wedding. I mean, we have more wedding venues than anywhere in Texas. We have more wineries than you have in Sonoma in California, and people just don't know that. And you're here, and it's become a destination, and we want to share that. We want to explain that to everybody, and we could live anywhere. And we have an interesting perspective for that as well, because my wife and I moved from New Jersey to Texas over 13 years ago. We moved kind of all over in Austin, got, master's at Texas State, we built in Cedar Park. We lived in South Austin and settled on Dripping Springs because we love the town. We love the people. We just felt at home here, and it's close enough to the city, and it's far enough out to where you still get that small town feel. Yeah. And you're in that community where people just get you, and you kind of find your groove here, and it's just a ton of fun.
Yeah, dude, that's what you needed, though. The more I've gotten to know you over the last couple of years, you thrive on a place like that where people and you can talk to people. And I remember the town that I lived in Baltimore, I loved, and I'm not as much of an extrovert as you are, I loved knowing the guy who owns the diner and the guy who has the tire store. And it wasn't a small town, it was a pretty big town. I just really enjoyed that small town feel in a bigger town. And that's always what it's the way that you promote Dripping Springs is that it almost reminds me of the movie Cars and what Radiator Springs used to be. Remember that when they kind of flash back and this like bustling, exactly. Everybody knows each other.
Well, you go, I mean, you're here, you got like downtown Dripping Springs, Mercer Street. I mean, you got coffee shops and a couple bars, and like you just know, you go in, you know somebody. You never go in like they know your name, they know who you are. Special. And it's great, and it makes you feel good, and you just want to support them, and you want to be there for these businesses. And that's what we're here to do, man. We're here to support local businesses. We are here to highlight what makes this town special, which is its people. Tell their stories, tell why they're here, why they chose Dripping Springs, what they do for the community, and just find ways to support different causes, different events, and make sure that everybody's up on what's going on. I mean, there's so much that happens here between Founders Day and the Songwriters Festival, and coming up here in like 2-3 weeks, we have the Brewers Festival down on Mercer Street, and just excited to be able to share that, be in the know, and we want to make this podcast a hub for people of Dripping Springs, whether you live here, you're moving here, you're here for a wedding, or you're coming in from Austin or San Antonio for the weekend just to grab, some wine and do a brewery tour. So that's where
it'll be the inside track. It's what I like that. I like that better than just reading a website that goes, here are the things to do in town this weekend. When you get to talk to the guy running the festival, or the person that owns this restaurant that's been rated super high, and you're talking to the owner and they get to hear that through this podcast and your voice too, that's special. That brings people who are even outsiders and makes them feel like they're actually a part of the town, and people that live in the town, and makes them more connected to their town, just in case they haven't been.
For sure. And it's important to connect the people that live here with people that are coming here. Right. And we look at it, and it's one of the fastest growing areas in the country, and people move to the city every day. You want to go out and know who you're seeing, and you may hear someone on the podcast, know their story, and spark up a conversation and create a relationship that you didn't know, because now you feel like you know this person. Right. If we interview a coffee shop owner, a restaurant owner, and next thing you know, you see them, like you start that conversation. It's great, and you'll be able to spot these people in the community. And I know the same goes for us. And when we're out with the family, it's kind of hard to miss, but we're out there and we're in the community as much as anybody.
What do you hope people get out of this podcast? Because it's not there's 4 million podcasts out there. I mean, this is another one, right? So like, what makes this one like? What do you hope people get from this, and why they're going to tune in every week?
People are going to tune into this podcast so that they can understand the stories of the people that give this town its life. This town is built on people. It's not like a major destination where you're going there because X, Y, and Z is there. It's because of the people that are here, the people that create the memories, the people that you're going to see at the breweries, the people that you're going to see at the coffee shop, at HEB, when you go to the grocery store, and the relationships you build. And, we've seen that and felt that firsthand. I know this, but my wife and I had quadruplets 2 years ago. So we have 2-year-old quadruplets, and we have a 4-year-old. So we have, at one point we had 5 under 2, and
crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But during that time, man, this community rallied around us, and we didn't ask for anything, and we just turned around, and there were diaper drives and people dropping off. I mean, strangers that I did not know coming to my door in the ring cam, dropping off diapers and wipes and leaving, because they were a friend of a friend who wanted to help. Or the meal trip. We didn't have to cook a meal for 2 months. And it's those people that make me love this community and never want to leave, and want to give back to it every way I can. We do that a lot through different events and fundraisers we help run. But I believe this podcast is going to do that, because it's going to give a platform to the people of Dripping Springs, the business owners of Dripping Springs, the events in Dripping Springs, and it's going to tie everyone together. And it's a bit of a melting pot here. We get city people, people who've lived in Dripping Springs forever, that went to high school here and still live here, people that are moving in, and it's a mix. And we want to be able to tie that in and give back and be able to promote whatever is going on in town, and the people that are making that happen.
Yeah, I didn't want to tee you up for that. I was waiting for you to say how much Dripping Springs has meant to you and how the town and the people of the town
Mhm.
supported you and didn't even know you didn't know them. That's the type of town this is. That's really why you're doing this, is to showcase the level of love and connection that this town has. And you want to start to, you're spotlighting the people that make this town special, right? That's so cool that you're doing that.
Sure. And like, it's just wild. It was humbling to see that, man.
Yeah.
I was a teacher and a coach. Like, that's it. Like, I know a lot of people in town, but for everyone to just like take care of you, and whether it came from organized efforts or just the stranger that drops stuff off on the porch, to see that, and people that still follow up, like, are you guys good? Do you need anything? What can we do? How can we help?
Yeah, I love it.
Moms that just came to like sit with the babies so my wife could take a shower while I was at practice, because I coached the high school lacrosse team here in town, and it was just unbelievable to see the community built here in town. And we want to highlight that and just really push that out to the masses, and make sure that everyone understands what this community is all about.
Dude, you have a heart of gold, because this isn't the way you give back. This is another way you give back, right? Over the last 2 years, I've had the opportunity to help you with your charity drives, with your events for the community, helping local businesses, raising money for the NICU. And this is another thing to help the community. So like, I love it, man. And look, I have a lot of people that call me and say, hey, I want to start a podcast. Can you give me some advice, or can you help me out? And, it's very rare that you get this level of authenticity and genuineness that you have, which this is just you, right? Super authentic, super genuine. And I think the town of Dripping Springs is as lucky to have you and your family as you are it. So that's a great reciprocation. And that's why I think this podcast is going to do so well. People are going to just naturally want to listen to it.
And I thank you.
Yeah,
I really appreciate that. That means a lot, especially coming from you.
Sure.
But for me, man, I want to see where this takes me, because I'm going to grow as a person in these conversations with the people around here and our community members. And I want to learn about their businesses, and I want to know what makes them successful. And I want to know how they failed, and I want to know how they move forward. And we're going to learn from each other. And selfishly, I'm going to become a better person while helping them tell their story, so that everybody in town can push forward and learn from each other about what's taking them over the edge, and pitfalls, and getting deep. And that's what I really want to do, and be able to help everybody not just learn about Dripping Springs, but learn about the residents and learn about themselves and improving themselves through the experiences of others here in town.
Yeah. Great place to wrap it, man, for your first episode. I'm proud to be a part of it with you.
I appreciate it. Thanks for coming.
Maybe I'll make another cameo.
Yeah, no, we'll get you out here. Maybe we'll do it in person at one of our events. We can do a live thing or something in the future. But I appreciate it, Ian. Thanks for being here. And we hope you guys tune in for the next episode. We'll be here as we move forward, and we'll see you here, and we'll make sure that you're sold on Drip.